Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back to the Jeff Crilley Show. My next guest believes that all of us are beautiful. It's often buried under layers of dead skin, damaged skin from the environment, and those toxic, harsh ingredients that can sometimes be in soaps and even moisturizers. Joining me right now is Cherie Rossetti. Cherie, welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Absolutely. So you and I have talked in the past.
Yes.
Some of the stuff that people wash their face with at night is just brutal on their skin, isn't it?
Well, you know, there are so many variables in damaging the skin. You know, with the sun being number one, but certainly, you know, I think the consumers are. We take a lot of things for granted when we see a large name, and we depend on them to deliver to us, you know, the best possible product to restore or you know, push out aging of our skin. And unfortunately, it took me. You know, myself using different products to find out that. You know, I'm not getting good results. And I wound up spending 5 years in the biotech industry. And at that time, I was developing products for another company. And we were doing like topical antioxidant products. And we also did a skincare line. And at that point, I didn't know what I didn't know. So I was largely dependent upon labs, you know, to tell me what ingredients needed to be in there. And I remember standing at a trade show, and it was an anti-aging show, and I had people coming up to me talking about the skincare and saying, well, it's not all green, you know, it's not, this isn't a green product. And so the past year and a half, I spent in doing my own research, in looking at the ingredients that were in these products, and I couldn't believe some of the things that I found in there. I mean, highly toxic, you know, things that are directly related to breast cancer. They find these things in breast cancer tissue, but products that that you start out using, that you get a good result from in the early stages, but over time, you know, I'm very anti-acid, you know, and if you think about acids and you think, you know, that it's helping, it actually forces your cells to turn over and the new cells to rise to the top. Well, over time, what happens is that these acids actually thin the skin and dry it.
Wow.
And so, what we're doing, or what I've developed, I developed my own ingredient list and made sure that there are no toxins in it. And I guess the best way to describe it is that it's nutrition for the skin, and for as we age, you know, and certain things go into decline. We don't manufacture as much. A buzzword out there is superoxide dismutase, and I think the perception is this is a melon from France, but actually this is naturally occurring enzymes in the body, and so. So that's what we look to do, is to replace these things. But we start off by using an exfoliant that's non-abrasive, and you know, it doesn't disrupt the skin, and in fact, it restores it back to its natural pH balance. So. Wow. Within a short period of time, you notice that your skin is shiny, and it feels it squeaks, you know, like it did when you were a baby.
My guest right now, Cherie Rossetti, her website is exposedbeauty.com. That's posed, P-O-S-E-D, beauty.com. Cherie, talk about the process of developing your own formula, because I guess you probably have to go through dozens of different recipes before you get the one that really works, huh?
Well, that wasn't, yeah, well, I think it's more than anything, it wasn't so much recipes as much as I knew what ingredients I wanted in there. And what we're doing now is some of the ingredients that I have in there are very expensive to produce. And what we want to do is kind of get that price point down so that it hits the mid-tier, so that the everyday woman, this would be considered possibly a cosmeceutical. But I want the everyday woman, because I was incensed, quite frankly, at what I had been doing to my own skin, and to think that these things that contribute to free radical breakdown in the body, if you look at it more in a biotechnology way, as opposed to, skin, cosmetics.
Right.
If we look at it that way, I mean, people take vitamins, and do the vitamins help? But
Right.
topical application is a highly efficacious method of delivering vitamins into the body. I mean, we think that we repel water, we repel any type of liquids, but actually we're absorbing those, and when we're absorbing toxic ingredients and things like that, it's a cause and effect. It might be okay for today, but the unfortunate thing is, in the future, that's what you have to deal with, and that's what you want to try to repair or wind back. And
Wow. Well, I have to tell you that you are a walking billboard for your product, because I'm sure you probably still get carded in the bars.
I don't know. I wish.
So, Cherie, you brought a couple of products with you. I think they're still in development, or at least the packaging is. Tell us more about them.
Well, I think you were amazed when we first sat down for our meeting, because I'll be working with your company in the future. But this is a body exfoliant, and I think you might remember me putting this on the top of your hand, and you just rubbed it in a circle. And I said, "Well, are you feeling the beads?" And you said, "Yeah, I am." And the more that came up, I said, "Well, they're not beads. That's your own dead cells."
Wow.
And it's only removing the dead cells. It's not damaging any of the new cells below. And then we've got a toning mist, which I don't have with me today. Sure. We've got a toning mist that actually helps to close the pores and tone the skin. And then in addition to that, we have a cream and the cream, it's sort of a cycle. And as long as you stay with these three products, then you'll have the cream will cause your cells to mimic youthful cells, and they'll actually start to produce. Stimulate your cells to produce collagen and elastin. Wow. So then if you look at the cycle of removing the old dead cells, then this way the products, the nutrients can actually penetrate. They don't have that barrier of dead cells laying on the top, so that they can get into the skin and actually improve it. And we've seen remarkable results. And one lady I have that's 75 years old, and was begging me to, give her products to use. And when we saw the before and after of her photos, people thought they were Photoshopped. They could not believe. Wow. They couldn't believe the difference in her skin. But it works within the first 30 days.
Well, we live in Dallas, where it's kind of the home of all cosmetic surgery. Is this, if you take better care of your skin, can you avoid going under the knife?
That is, I think that's the course that most people are on with the products that are out there today, because after you've damaged your skin, the only place that you have to go, is to an invasive process. Mm-hmm. And so, by using these types of products that plump the skin so that you don't, have to have injections. I mean, you can see my forehead. I don't have frown lines, and we know that my age is, that I'm older than you. So, but that's the one thing that you do want to avoid. You want to avoid getting there, because once you start that, the injections, you have to continue them. Right. And, it becomes a vicious cycle. It sort of distorts the other attributes of your face, like possibly your smile or, around your nose. I'm not a big proponent of,
Me too.
let's cure it with a needle.
Well, and you always see these celebrities, I
Right.
think about people like Kenny Rogers, and sometimes they're unrecognizable
Right.
after they've gone under the knife. So this kind of solution can be life-changing.
Yeah, especially if you start, the younger that you start, and if you keep in mind that the sun, is really, as much as you try to avoid it, is so damaging. It's difficult, to stay out of the sun. But I think people have this idea that if I put sunscreen on, I don't have to worry about my skin.
Right.
Well, that's really not how it happens. You're still getting damage, below that. Below that UV that you put on.
Well, I know the listeners are going to be excited about your product. When can they get it?
Yeah, that everyone is excited. I have a long line of ladies that have been with me through the sample phase, and we're currently hoping to launch the product on national TV in March. We're tracking as fast as we possibly can to get it to market. But we already know that there's a demand because there are no toxins. That's what we can speak to. Is we know the type of damage that these products do. And if someone wants to get on my website, there is a page on there called The Gorilla, and I've just listed some ingredients for products, competitive products that are well-known brands, and they can just look at the ingredient list, and there's a colorful word, and you click on it, it'll describe that toxin, and when you look at these trusted names and you see how much toxin is in their product, it just will blow you away.
And the website again?
Exposed Beauty, and that's XPOSED, beauty.com.
Cherie Rossetti, thank you so much for being on the Jeff Crilley Show.
I'm so excited. Thank you.
Absolutely. Coming up next, if you're like millions of Americans, you made a resolution to lose weight and get in shape in 2016. A man who's going to help you keep that promise is just ahead.
More of the Jeff Crilley Show coming up.